welcome to the session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. And if you're new to the session, what we'll be doing is a sequence of short practices. First, settling and centering, getting grounded. We'll do that with our eyes closed. And then for focus and awareness of presence versus being off in thoughts, it's called close placement practice, where we have our eyes halfway open and are aware of just the space right around our bodies, our posture, and the internal feeling of the breath coming in and out. And then we open up our eyes fully and work with the environmental awareness of perceptions and a bigger space around us. And then we'll do some contemplations that encourage compassion, kindness, caring, based on the interdependence of all the beings on this planet. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention for our practice today is the idea of expectation and thinking about outcomes. And I know there are also golfers on this program, and worry about results. A great acronym is WAR, W-A-R, worry about results. When I worry about results, I'm at war with myself. So whenever we want to have a vision of what we'd like to accomplish, and then let that go, and within that vision, focus purely on what we're experiencing and what our process is right now. So if we take care of the process, the results take care of themselves. Worry about the results actually interferes and delays getting the results. In Zen golf, I have a story about a man who got in an argument, this is in ancient Japan, in an argument with someone and wanted to challenge them to a sword fight, a duel, but he knew the other person was quite good at the sword, so he wanted to become a master himself. And he went to the greatest swordsman he could find, who was a Zen master as well, and said, if I study with you, how long will it take for me to master the sword? And he said, the teacher said, about 10 years. He said, no, you don't understand. I need to do this right away because I want to fight with this guy. So what if I every day, all day with you? He said, well, maybe 20 years. He said, no, we're going in the wrong direction. What if I day and night and practice all the time? He said, well, maybe 30 years. He said, because someone who's in such a hurry to get results doesn't learn very, very quickly. So applying to our meditation practice, we have concerns. Am I getting anywhere? Is this doing any good? And very often when we start the practice, we think this is making things worse because I'm having way more thoughts than I had before. So first of all, I want to assure you, you don't actually have more thoughts than you had before. You're just aware of them because you put yourself in neutral, so you're not engaged with so much, and the thoughts come to the foreground. Suddenly, there they are. It's like if somebody says, don't move, no matter what, all of a sudden itches start to come up in your body and aches and things that you didn't experience before. So the same thing happens with thoughts. And the other thing that interferes is worry about whether we're doing it right. Because we think that the only way to get a good outcome is to do the process perfectly. I had a golf lesson with a young man yesterday who, for 9 holes, he shot 2 under par. And I would say maybe a third of his shots were really good. And the rest, they weren't anywhere near perfect. but they were good enough to keep in play and work with what he had. And so dispelling this idea of perfection and needing to do it perfectly to get the kind of results we want, we can let that go. And if our intention is correct and we do our best to work with the practice actually is self-correcting. So that's what I would like to encourage as an attitude. The other attitude we talk about is the motivation for our practice. And if it's a kind of a self-improvement project that when I feel when I'm struggling, I should meditate so I can get through this better, like an aspirin for a headache. That doesn't really work because the idea is a continuity to develop this as something that is familiar. In fact, the Tibetan word for meditation actually translates into familiarity. You become familiar with resting in the present moment, familiar with whether you're present or whether you're off into a daydream and recognizing that. And so that's really the process that we're working with. So it's a discovery process, not get it right and beat myself up if I'm not getting it right. So I want to let you encourage you to have a sense of humor about your own practice. And sometimes, if it's going really well, don't get too excited because that probably won't last forever. And if it's going poorly, don't get too depressed because things change. Everything changes. And it's part of the process of working through things. So that's what I wanted to encourage you before we start. So let's get into the practice. And if you want to set yourself up so you don't have to move afterwards, when we open our eyes, we don't want to be looking into a screen, so you can turn your device or move your seat so that you won't be looking into the screen when your eyes are fully open. But to begin with, you can let your eyes gently close and listen to the sound of the gong. And as it quiets, let yourself quiet down. With each out-breath, just feel the seat underneath you. Breathe out, sink down. Breathe out, sink down. Really trust the seat to support you. It's our connection with the earth. Breathe out, sink down. And feel your sit bones pressing into the seat and make them even so you're not leaning to one side or the other. And then from this base, we establish our posture. As far as your legs are concerned, if you're in a chair, you can have your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart, with your lower legs perpendicular to the ground. But if your legs are long and your knees are above your hips, it puts a strain on your lower back and you have to work to hold work your leg muscles. So just slide your feet towards each other and cross at the ankles, and then let your knees widen out so that they're below hip level. Now, if you can, unless you really have to, don't lean back, but sit straight up and feel like your spine extends from your tailbone straight up through your neck and the back of your head, all the way to the back of the top of your head. There's a natural curvature, but if you feel like it's a straight line, then you're upright, but not rigid. With the back of your head upright, then you're not tilted forward with your chin down, because you get sleepy when that happens, or your chin tilted way up because you get dreamy, or your chin sticking out forward because then it's like, what's next, what's next, what's next? So if the back of your head and your neck are just an extension of your spine, your chin comes in naturally. And there's an uprightness, again, not rigid. As to your front, feel like the center of your sternum, your breastbone, comes up and forward just a tiny bit, quarter of an inch. You'll feel it opens up your chest, your shoulders come back a little bit naturally without you pulling them back. You feel a firmness of your shoulder blades behind you. We use a little bit of energy, a little bit of tension to raise that sternum just a tiny bit. Now from your shoulders, your upper arms hang straight down, and you swivel your hands up, palm down on each thigh. So your forearms go along your thighs. With your upper arms perpendicular to the ground, you're not reaching forward or pulling back, but a very neutral posture. And again, use that technique of breathing down, connect with the ground. With each out breath, just feel like any tension that you have, any residual tension, that you don't need to hold that posture. Just let it flow down and out of you. I forgot to mention the jaw. Let your jaw be relaxed, your lips lightly touching or slightly parted. We breathe in through our nose, but we can breathe out partly through our nose and our mouth, if you'd like, whichever is more comfortable. And your tongue can either rest naturally or drift up, and the tip of your tongue can rest gently behind your front teeth on the upper palate. It's said that that position minimizes the flow of saliva. But if you feel some saliva, it's fine to swallow. Now back to breathing down, letting the extra tension flow down and out of you. From your face and jaw, neck and shoulders. We have some tension holding our sternum up, but let everything else in your torso soften. Let the tension flow down and out of you with each out breath. Breathe out, flow down, down out your arms, down your torso, out your legs. As you do that, you may find that each breath becomes softer. And let your body breathe itself. Take whatever in-breath is necessary, and then breathe out and sink down. Let your awareness drift down and rest in the deep core of your torso, a couple of inches below your navel, but in the middle, in front of your spine. Feel the depth front to back of your torso, not just side to side. As your body breathes itself, there's a natural feeling of expanding as the breath comes in, contracting as the breath goes out, deep in the core of your torso. It may feel a little bit like filling and emptying. All of that's happening in the present moment. Your body is always in the present. And gently open your eyes about halfway, looking down just not at a particular spot, but with a soft gaze so you see the space that your body is sitting in, just a couple of feet in each direction. Still your main awareness, the deep core, filling and emptying. So you have awareness of your posture, awareness of the space your body is sitting in, and attention to that feeling, the internal sensation of filling and emptying as your body breathes. So we focus on that gently. Sounds may occur in your mind, in your perception. Thoughts may appear in your mind. Let them come and go as background while your main focus is on the feeling of filling and emptying. And if one thought leads to another and another and takes you off into a daydream, which often happens, when you realize that you're already back, and simply smile, go, I was away, now I'm back. Reconnect with your posture, the space you're sitting in, and focus on that feeling of filling and emptying deep in your core. We'll do that for a few minutes. If you've gotten drowsy, your eyes closed, reinvigorate your posture, raise your chest, just let your eyes open naturally, and feel the breath coming in your nostrils and all the way down, then back up, all the way up and out your nostrils. If you feel like your mind has been off in thoughts most of the time, keep your gaze lowered and really focus on your deep core. The whole process, the detail, the sensation of starting to fill until it's full, and a transition to emptying till it's empty. Transition to filling till it's full. The whole process. Just stay with that. Do that for a couple more minutes. And you can move a bit, stretch a little, take a moment, and when you're ready, reestablish your posture. And again, now we'll have our eyes fully open, so be sure that you're not looking into the screen of your device. Connect with the posture. And let your eye gaze, the direction be natural, which will be slightly below horizontal. Then soften the gaze and open up your peripheral vision. Soften your face muscles. Just open up your eyes to the full field of vision, side to side, top to bottom. Without moving the direction that you're looking, your awareness can explore all around your full field of vision. Just notice colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark. That's what your eyes are actually perceiving. Colors, shapes, shades of light and dark. Notice if labels arise in your mind in conjunction with these, and just let them go. Those are mental labels. What your eyes are seeing are the colors, shapes, shades of light and dark. Just explore your field of vision for a couple of minutes. Now, leaving your eyes open, feel like your hearing opens up in all directions in the same way. You hear the sound of my voice from the device. Now listen for sounds in all directions, near and far. Listen for the farthest sounds. Soft. Nearer sounds loud. High and low pitch. All the textures of sound. Just listen. Again, labels may appear in your mind in conjunction with the sounds. Those are mental labels. Let them come and go. Just listen for sound. And again, leaving your eyes open, tune into bodily sensations. The sensation of your feet pressing on the floor, the cloth or skin under your hands, the cloth on your shoulders, other parts of your body, the air on the back of your hands, your face. The sensation of the air coming in and out your nostrils, cool and dry coming in, warm and moist going out. Internal sensations, little aches, feeling of movement with the breath. Can you feel your pulse? Your chest, in your chest, your wrists, your neck, fingertips. We won't focus today on smell or taste, but there's a sixth perception. You perceive your thoughts. So again, leaving your eyes open, take an attitude of watching your mind and watch for the next thought that appears. How do thoughts appear in your mind? Did that thought come from a particular direction? Was it like a bubble coming to the surface? Like a bird flying across the sky? An image flashing on a screen? What was it like? And watch for the next thought and the next one. When thoughts follow each other, is it one thought changing into another one? Or does one thought end and the next one appear? Have a look. Is it instant or is there space between them? Have a look. And as the gong fades, let go of the focus on any particular perception. And ride the breath out into the space in the room. Go out. As the breath goes out, it mixes with the space. It mixes with the air in the room. In the same way, let your mind open up to the space around you, in front of you, all around, as far as you can see. Breathe out, open up, and rest in that space. The body breathes in by itself. That's included in your awareness. But breathe out and open that awareness further in all directions. Out, open, rest in spaciousness. And with the next out breath, imagine that your awareness extends even farther out to the horizon, out to the sky. Awareness as vast as the sky. And within that, we can contemplate that all beings on the earth are under that same sky. Different places, but the same sky. Underneath us, all beings, the same earth or oceans. Different places, but all the same earth. Between the sky and the earth, the atmosphere. We all live in that same atmosphere. Different places, but the same atmosphere between the sky and the earth. And contemplate that we all share the same basic feeling. We have hope of happiness, contentment, safety, well-being. We have fear of suffering, pain, danger, physical pain, and mental anxiety. And rouse a heart of sympathy, of compassion for all the beings who struggle so much to try to find happiness and try to avoid suffering and relieve themselves of suffering. And so many who can't find happiness, who can't remove the suffering. If it's helpful, you can even put your hand palm down over your heart center, the center of your chest at heart level. And feel your heart of compassion going out to them. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. And rouse that wish that all those who don't have happiness could have happiness and the causes of happiness. Not just happiness, but well-being, all the elements. Health, peace, peace of mind. Extend out the wish from your heart of compassion that all beings could be free of the suffering of physical and mental pain and the causes of that suffering. And you can link it with your breathing, imagining that as you breathe out, you're sending out the causes of happiness. And as you breathe in, you're drawing out from beings the causes of suffering, relieving them of that. If it's helpful, you can start with a loved one, what you know will make them happy, what you know their suffering is, that you can relieve. And then as best you can, beyond that one loved one, include more and more beings until you include all living beings. And in case you forgot, there's one more, which is yourself. You're one of these living beings. And as the gong fades, let go of the contemplation. Let go of what you're imagining. Lower your gaze and just reconnect with body, posture, breathing, and the space you're sitting in. Breathe it down. Connect with the ground. And we conclude the practice again with an aspiration for how we're going to continue the day. May I be as mindful as possible throughout the day and evening. May I be as kind to myself and others as possible throughout the evening. And that whatever we gained from this practice, and you can repeat after me, may the practice I've just done be of even more benefit to others than to myself. And that's called pure motivation and pure intention and real generosity. So thank you very much for your participation in this mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice session.